Good morning. I'm delighted to speak today on your webinar. My name is Lenka and I will be speaking about something what we call just transition plan, or we call it also the action plan. My Estonian colleagues asked me to speak about the challenges during the process. So I have decided to speak about 7 challenges today. Very short introduction. Slovakia, as you might know, is in the middle of the Europe. We have lignite mines. 3 are still open. 2 are in my region, as you could see, and 1 is outside the region. Our coal dependency is much lower, of course, comparing with Poland and Germany. We extract annually approximately 1.5 million tons. And power station based on the coal is also in my region, represented by the red dot, and produces approximately 5% of the total electricity. I have to say that there is a state aid in Slovakia. All the citizens of Slovakia who are paying the electricity bills are supporting the mining business or by mining industry by approximately 116 million euro annually. And one thing which also I would like to mention, probably this is also an Ida Viru topic, 55% of population lives in environmentally degraded area. I live in that region which is called Upper Nitra. Nitra is the river, so the region around the river, which is called Nitra. I live in this region from my childhood. I have to say that the mining industry is a very traditional industry in my region, and also I know how dangerous are jobs in the mining industry. We have the underground mines. These jobs are really dangerous from the occupational health point of view, and also some tragedies are happening in my region. Last tragedy was in 2009 when 20 people died in the mine. So when we are speaking about transformation of the region, about the mining industry, and we always say that we fully respect the past. We understand that how painful the past was, and we have to respect it fully. So we are seeking for new opportunities with memories of our people. What is specific in for Slovakia, very probably, the Just Transition Plan or Action Plan was kicked off by the region, not by the county management, not by the national level, but by the region. This is something very specific, I think. A region was represented by Association of Towns and Villages, later joined the regional self-government, and national level was represented or is still represented by Deputy Prime Minister Office. So let's go to the challenges. So challenge number 1. I think the biggest challenge for the region was that we didn't have consistent signals from the government. That was the most difficult barrier to start. We started with the action plan creation in January 2018. And at the same time, our Prime Minister said that he absolutely rejects about the closing mines. And despite of this fact, in March, the government already established the working group. The working group for Just Transition Plan. So if you imagine what this plan means, something which is related with timing. And until until December 2018, we didn't have that date. So 9 months we were working with really discouraging signals, and this is for me the biggest challenge which we had to overcome. So if government would be clear from the beginning, that would be much more easier. Challenge number 2. Coal phase out in my region was a taboo topic. In Slovakia, I think this will appear everywhere. Social concerns really dominate the environmental issues. And what was really needed for the just transition plan were the strong leaders, strong local leaders. We had our leader. If I say the leaders, I mainly mean the mayors of the towns and villages. These are the people who can bring the others on the board. I have to say what could be specific for Slovakia, but could also not be specific in Slovakia. Our mayors of the towns were really successful in the communal elections, which happened 11 months after the transformation plan kicked off. And it means that people really appreciated the transformation activities. So just for you to know, but that transformation activities could be also in favor of many of citizens, which are in the beginning looking at the transformation as a taboo topic.
Just a quick question,
yeah.
Which was asked. The union representative in Estonia would like to know, so what was the average pay of the miners in the region if you compare it with the national average? So did they earn above average, about the average, less than average?
Depending on what position. Are you speaking about the miners, like underground miners, or the average salary in the mining company?
Good question. I guess if you know both, then those would be
the average salary in mining company was, I would say, somehow in average, but the people, the mining underground miners, I wouldn't say they are paid well. And the turnover probably is quite high in these positions. Also,
okay, so the simple workers would earn less than average, whereas the company as a general would be around average.
Yes, but okay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
And by the way, the companies still have vacant positions. These positions are very difficult to perform. So challenge number 3, capacity building in the region. I think this is the very similar to the Ida-Viru region. We have Slovak Academy of Science made for us the alarming forecasting. The average, the population in the age of productive age is going down, and it seems it will be continue if we will not do something. So we really suffer from the fact that young people are leaving the region. And in our vision is to increase the attractiveness of the region mainly because of this fact. We have not enough, the quality of infrastructure is not good enough. So this is also what appeared in our just transition plan in order to increase the attractiveness of the region, but not only infrastructure, of course.
May I just quickly ask, what do you mean by infrastructure? Is it
mainly roads? Mainly roads. That was always the discussion about the roads, about highways and things like that. And unfortunately, here in this slide, I do not have many information about the successes, because this is a really long-term and painful topic. Challenge number 4. Transformation projects. If we want to transform the region, we need good transformation projects. Unfortunately, there are only few really innovative. During 2018 and 2019, we had a collection of transformation projects from municipalities, from entrepreneurs, from common people. We have asked to send us the transformation project ideas to know what is the absorption of the region and the potential of the region. This as a result, I would say, the mining company has a very good quality project, but it's a pity because we don't want to transform just the mining company, but we also want to transform the region. So I would say that this is something that you should also take care about, to systematically work with those people who has ideas and who could potentially bring good projects and to put it in the life. We have collected more than 200 projects, and only 7 are currently assessed by Justers. And the systematic work in Slovakia with these projects is currently missing. No questions? This part.
There was actually one question which was that whether the coal that was mined in the region was only used for producing electricity, or is it also used for as an input to the chemicals industry?
Mainly for electricity production. 97%, I would say 97% was for electricity production.
And the rest of and the 3%?
Went for something with wood industry, but I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
Tough question. So opposite interest. During the Just Transition plan creation, we had maybe more than 30 meetings with many people. If I say people, I mean active citizen, I mean directors of the schools, I mean municipality representatives, entrepreneurs, activists, and people like that. In general, a lot of discussions were common, and a lot of there were many similarities. People understand that they need to have a good innovative project. They want to have a good infrastructure. They want to increase the attractiveness of the region. They want to bring the potential for a touristic business and things like that. But also, of course, there were animosities, and I would say the animosities are natural when you are doing something. I remember from these 30 meetings, 2 biggest animosities. This was mining company versus spa regarding the geothermal potential. Should we increase the health resort capacity, or should we also use the geothermal for district heating, or both? And second animosity was the mining company versus the village, which is near Prievidza town, because mining company wanted to open a new mining field, which was impacting the village. First, the animosity was solved via, or not solved because it's not solved yet, but government, Slovakian government asked European Commission for the support in this topic, and we will have assessment of the geothermal potential within the region from which will begin in summer 2020 and will last 1 year. Second animosity was solved directly in the Just Transition plan because the new mining field was rejected by the plan also. May I continue?
Yes, there was a question of how many people were involved in coal mining in the region. I think you had it a few slides back. I think it was something near.
Yeah, the mining company itself is an important employer in the region. It has around 3,000 employees currently, 2,900 something.
So that's the direct job link.
Exactly, yeah. And you have to use the coefficient 1 point something if you want to estimate how many are the jobs which supply the main employer. Challenge number 6: institutionalization. So for just transition plan was established a working group, and this working group was established by Office of Deputy Prime Minister, so governmental level, and it was done in March 2018. And since that time, many times there are discussions who is really responsible for the transformation of the region. Should it be government, or should it be the regional government, or should it be the Association of Towns and Villages, which is a real representative of very concrete region? We do not have yet final decision. Decision should be taken in May 2020, so this month. And it seems that the implementation and transition will be led by the ministry. So by the national level, in Slovakia, we are going now to have a new Ministry of Investment and Regional Development. And it seems that the just transition planning will be under the umbrella of this ministry. No question?
Just a sec. There was one question about the funding of transformation projects. So which would be the main sources of funding that you could use for this plan's implementation?
There are, of course, many, but now the biggest discussion is about Just Transition Fund, which for Slovakia will represent 160 million euros. But also there are many others.
Okay.
And of course, the challenge number 7 is, I think, very typical one. Is a communication. I think nobody would be surprised by this last challenge. Unfortunately, in Slovakia, we had communication very fragmented and inconsistent. Only our NGO has a web page which is dedicated to this topic, which our web page has name "The Life After Coal." And I would say if you have a regular and systematic communication, it's really part of the public engagement. So I would recommend heavily to be better in Estonia than in Slovakia in this topic.
And just one final question, because we are running a bit behind the schedule, and I'm not sure if you can answer. Maybe this is a question to one of your colleagues who knows more about the financial side of the things. But the question is whether it has been calculated. What was the sort of tax revenue loss that the closure of mines created?
Tax revenue close?
Yeah, so basically the closing of the mines will lead to reduced tax income for the state, probably, right? Or
probably for the state and for the municipality, but this is I unfortunately do not know. But okay. I have to say that we are not counting that the mining company will be closed next year. because there are many activities which they have to do instead of for the closing the mine. It's not something that will happen in 1 month. This is the first thing. And second one, they have many good projects for the future. So they will not do the mining business, but they will do several other activities. From there is one project which is to do some technical, I don't know how to say it in English, unfortunately, like car industry, something like that. And this is one Mantinel, another one, they are already in tomato production. So they use the mining water for tomato production. They have the fish production. So if this mining company is smart enough, they are doing other businesses. They will not just close the door next year.
Okay, so as I understand, this sort of answers to another question, which was about the new jobs in the region. So the new jobs in the region are sort of all kinds of new jobs. Some of them will be provided by the same company that is doing the mining at the moment, but they're refocusing. Some of them are brand new jobs coming from outside investment, and some of them are locals themselves creating new jobs. So it's all kinds of jobs, right?
Right. And also, Mr. Seban from PricewaterhouseCoopers will show you in his presentation the calculation of how many new jobs could be created based on these transformation project ideas.
Okay, good. Okay, then is there anything else you would like to add?
Not for me. I am just now here wishing you a fruitful discussion. Hopefully, I have opened the taste for it, and I wish you all the best.